Hi there, Robin here, and today we're going to be talking about these Geminis right here in front of us. They are the AS2110BT for Bluetooth and media player, and the AS2110P for power. What's really the difference? I pretty much just gave it away, but more importantly, are there times when you don't have to spend $1,000 for a 10-inch speaker? I mean, if you're looking for the absolute, this speaker is absolutely great, it works all the time for everything I'm doing, blah, 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 and you turn around and tell me that you spent $1,000 on it, I'm going to think, of course, it should work perfectly for everything you're going to do. You just spent $1,000 on it. Now, if you have a pair of 12s and 15s already, and those are doing a really good job for your big events, but now you're thinking, maybe I want something smaller, something easier to carry around, something for small gatherings, small events. I just need to do some PAing for an extra job on the side. What can I get myself that's going to fill that niche? And these are just extra speakers to do good work. These might be the way to go. If you already have all the equipment and you're thinking, wait a minute, I just want some power, reasonable power. I don't need big power. If I need big power, I'll take my big speakers. Backyard parties, small get-togethers, those little weddings in the parks. Anytime you've only got like 20 to 30 people around, and it's not for big party music. We're talking about for, public addressing, letting people know what's going on, background music, that sort of thing. This might be a great way to do it, and you're going to do it for less than a couple of $100 each. And remember, this is without an MP3 player or Bluetooth. This one's with. So if I wanted to just run Bluetooth off of these speakers, I'd buy one of each. I get one of these, which is the AS2110BT, which is, by the way, their new look, their new style. It's very nice. And my second one will be just the straight up powered speaker. Save myself enough money to pay for the cable that's going to be needed to link the two together. Not a bad way to go. You can still use your own speaker stands. You can take all the equipment you have already and you can apply it to the back of these speakers here. No worries. So what do you get when you buy these speakers? Well, they do advertise it as peak wattage, and that's 1,000 watts. I'm not the watt police. I'm going to tell you that maybe it's like 100 watts at the bottom, 150 on top, maybe a little bit more. It's pretty darn loud for the size and the price point. Power for price, pretty good. Now again, like I said, if you're trying to mix this up and trying to figure out what's a good mix for you, 20 to 25 people, backyard parties, stuff like that. I'm not looking at heavy bass. Maybe the money I save with this, I might buy a subwoofer. This is really going to take care of that mid bass and up volume for you. So what do you have on the back? Well, here we go. Let's go through the back. So again, we're going to start with the AS2110BT, and what we have on top is the actual media player. That's what they label up as channel 1, and that's going to give you gain control for the actual channel. Then we're going to have a mode options, which is going to be for our FM tuner, which, it's an outdoor. If it works, great for you. All these speakers have FM tuners on them, and it's hit and miss. The next one is a link function. So if you actually buy two of this exact speaker, two of the AS2110BTs, you can link them up wirelessly via Bluetooth, but that's only going to carry the Bluetooth signal between the two speakers wireless. It's great that it has it, because again, all these type of party speakers should have a link function to it, so it's really nice to see it on this speaker. Next, we've got our play pause, and then we've got our repeat function or play continuous. Then we've got our next and previous tracks, which also can act as our digital volume. We have it in Bluetooth, and again, remember, this has MP3, so if you have to go out with a playlist, you can do that with the SD card or USB stick, and you also have that FM. But I really buy this because of the Bluetooth. So we're going to do channel 2 and channel 3 at the same time, because this is really slick how they set this up. Gain controls for both of these. Right beside that, we have our analog unbalanced input. And what does that mean? It means we've got our 3.5 two-channel stereo connection here. And down below on channel 3, we're going to have RCA, left and right unbalanced connections right here. Beside that, we have buttons that allow us to go from line level to mic. This is really important for the next two input plugs, because that's where the line is chasing. It's going across that side there. What does that mean? Is that I can either use a 1/4 inch or an XLR in line mode, or I can push the button in and it becomes a mic input. Very important. You get that on both channel 2 and channel 3. So that means either two mics, or maybe I need to plug in two line inputs separately via 1/4 inch or XLR. Very nice. And then having the ability to mix them because they're independently connected. Below that, notice I've been calling these our actual gain levels, because our master volume is located right here at the bottom. That master volume is going to bring up the power to this speaker itself, the one you see right in front of you. So this speaker has two indicators on it. One is the actual power indicator. The green light means everything's good to go. The light beside is the red light, it's called the clip light. That means that we've reached the actual limit of how much the speaker can do, and we're going to want to back off a little bit on it. Now they do give you bass and treble control, and if you go anywhere past half on your bass and treble control, which is the 0 point, you're going to realize that you're going to start achieving that clip at a lower volume level. So remember, keep this at check. Start at 12 o'clock, adjust your bass and treble, then you can bring up your volume that extra little distance. And when possible, try and achieve your volume up on the gain, because more volume on the gain is going to give more control onto your master volume. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it louder, it's just going to sound better. Now, as you notice right here, I do have our XLR already plugged in. It's our mix output right there at the bottom. And why do we have that there? Because we're already chasing it to the next speaker. So if you're actually looking for one of these speakers, you're going to find the links down below. Those links are going to bring you to Amazon in this case, or Gemini, because we have links for both of them now. You can buy either direct from Gemini, or you can go to our Amazon links, and that's what supports this channel. So I'd appreciate it if you hit that link when looking for the updated pricing on it. We've got this new shape. This is a very much, I call this the Gemini look. It's a very unique look to them. Now, I don't know if other companies have this, but after looking around and looking at these for a while now, this look has become very synonymous with Gemini, which is very nice because you can tell what's up and down, and you can tell that it's looking really good. It's got a nice handle setup on it. It also has the pole mount at the bottom for your actual speaker stand. Now, the 10-inch are not made to go sideways down like a monitor. There's no side handles or offsets for them to sit as a monitor, so these are going to be used mostly as your mains or in your rehearsal space. So now let's go over the actual P version and actually see if the power version alone might be right for you. Now again, this has Bluetooth, sync capabilities, FM tuner, all that kind of stuff in this one here. For a couple of bucks less, if you don't need that, you don't have to pay for it. You can buy yourself the AS2110P, the power model. And here we are. We are now looking at the AS2110P. This is their 10-inch powered model. And unlike the BT, we're not going to have a digital media display at the very top. We're going to start right away with our two analog inputs, which is channel 1 and channel 2 in this case. The difference here, we're going to see an aux on our channel 1 and RCAs on our channel 2. So that's the only difference, the analog inputs right there. So again, channel 1, we have gain controls. We've got ourselves a 3.5 unbalanced connection. We've got the ability to control our next two inputs, which are going to be a 1/4 inch or an XLR. They can either be line inputs or they can be mic inputs. So regardless, if it's not a microphone you're plugging in, everything's a line input. So don't assume that, oh, well, you know, it looks like a mic jack. No. If it's not a microphone, it's a line input. That's all you really need to know about those. Great, because you can use either type of cable depending on what you want to plug into it. It'll work on the back of the speaker. Same thing repeats on channel 2, except here, instead of that 3.5 we saw on channel 1, channel 2 has RCA for your analog unbalanced inputs right there. Then we have the exact same options for our mics, either to be a 1/4 inch or an XLR, or we can have our line input be a 1/4 inch or an XLR. Very, very nice. Now, we've been calling these our gain inputs. Why? Because right at the bottom we have our master volume. Maximize the amount of overall volume you can get out of your gains, and then use your master volume to get the speaker as loud as you want. Now, it also features bass and treble control, so it's really important to keep an eye on the red light right beside the master volume, which is your clip light. You want to be able to get as much volume as you can without really triggering that clip light too much. Remember, adding extra bass and extra treble can actually trigger that light on you. Now, if your intention is to plug in a second speaker, you would simply come from your output, your main out or mix out of your first speaker, and go in to your second speaker channel 1 input, and then turn that actual gain volume all the way up, allowing you to use the main volume or master volumes and controls on the first speaker to control the output on the second speaker. Then balance off your volume by simply using the master volume option down below. So if you're looking for reasonably priced speakers to do a reasonably sized job, Gemini might be the right answer for you. They are consumer-based pro audio, so not commercial-based. It's not like you're going out and buying yourself some JBLs or some Electro Voices for $1,000 a piece. Don't get me wrong, that's not what this is, and nowhere in this video am I claiming that. These are really good quality speakers for a reasonable size of people at a reasonable volume level. And if you do that, they're going to last you an awfully long time. I know a lot of people who have had Geminis for many years, and they've worked out really well for them because either they bought them as a second set or they bought them for fun and for free work. And what I mean by fun and for free is basically stuff you're doing just because you want to do it. This is something you want to do, and you're not looking to entertain 150 people. And if you are, please shop for more powerful speakers. But if you're looking for 15 to 25 people at a backyard, at a park, at a small little thing, and it's something you're going to be either PAing or playing music in the background, this is a really good way to go. If you're just going to be playing at a cafe and the intention is for you to be, in the background, entertain people but don't overwhelm them, you could do it with speakers like this. So remember, there's no problems hooking up mixers to this or microphones or wireless equipment. Whatever you have will plug into these speakers just like they would any other speakers. So no worries on that. So if you liked your video up to this point, please hit that like button. I appreciate that very much. That's what it's there for. And if you've subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, now is always a good time. So if you haven't found the speakers you're looking for just yet, we've got some great playlists for you. We've got a nice playlist right here for you. That's going to bring you off to your very next video. That's going to help you make some more choices on the type of speaker you might be looking for.